Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I am doing a book review of The Last Sheild by Cameron Johnson. This is a book coming out August 13th, 2024 from Angry Robot. This is a fantasy novel. I received this arc from Angry Robot in exchange for a fair review, so thank you very much to the publisher for that. A non-stop entertaining thrill ride, The Last Sheild is a fabulous adaptation of Die Hard that strikes the balance between homage and creating its own story. What is it about? The ancient forest realm of Sunveld is bordered on two sides by far mightier nations, a precarious situation. At its center, the Sunwheel Palace is home to the Lord Regent and the heir to the throne, together with numerous precious and powerful artifacts. The palace is protected by the realm's elite shields, dedicated to guarding the royal line against all foes. A group of vicious brigands called the Wildwood Reavers have been stealing arcane artifacts and smuggling them across the borders out of Sunweald. And the objects they most desire are stored in the mystical worm vault, hidden away in the deep bones of the earth within the walls of the palace itself. As political and religious tensions mount, Sunwind's druids prepare to enact rituals for the summer solstice. But the Wildwood Reavers and their treacherous allies have other plans. It falls to Briar, the commander of the Shield, to defend the ancient corridors and secret tunnels of the palace. The odds may be against her, but she'll see every enemy head adorning a spike, or she'll die trying. Yes, as I said in my little intro, this is an adaptation or homage or perhaps ode to Die Hard. Do you need to know Die Hard to read this book and enjoy it? Absolutely not. Does it make it more fun? A little bit. I have seen Die Hard many times, mainly because it's one of my husband's favorite Christmas movies. Yes, I'm on Team Die Hard as a Christmas movie. Why? Well, 1, the premise centers around a Christmas party. 2, there's Christmas music in the movie. 3, it's literally set on Christmas Eve. 4, his wife's name is Holly. 5, the line, "I have a machine gun, ho ho ho," wouldn't make any sense if it were set at any other time of year. I rest my case. Anyway, The Last Sheild has lots of nods to Die Hard. We have someone trained in combat, taking on a slew of villains while sneaking through tunnels and planting traps. The reason the castle is being taken over is because the main antagonist is trying to break into a vault. There are hostages. One of the hostages the main character is in love with. Some villains resemble or act like some of the terrorists in the movie, and there are some similar deaths to in the movie. But there are also vast differences. Obviously, this is set in a fantasy world, so there is magic and there are no guns. And the lead up to the Die Hard kind of plot is entirely different. In fact, the first third of the book is not even the Die Hard plot at all. It's something else. It's building Briar's character and the world building, things like that. For me, who knows Die Hard well enough, but I'm not a fervent fan of it, I enjoyed the references and allusions to it while also finding the Last Sheild story, compelling and exciting on its own. The book is full of fantasy swordplay action. Despite the number of fights and Briar's injury, it never grows stale. The pacing is quick and the plot engaging, with villains you really hate and can't wait to be seen taken down a notch, or, having their heads taken off. There is no sexualized violence in this book, just in case you were wondering about that. Briar is awesome. She's stalwart, goal-oriented, quick-thinking, and tough as nails. Yet she also has a strong moral compass, and she has flaws. She's not arrogant, but she is too proud at times to accept help, and often beats herself up for things outside of her control. She's a self-made woman in love with a man she can't have due to their responsibility to the realm, and this deep love, plus her protective nature, makes her very endearing. The love story is minimal in its presence on the page, but the way it's woven through the narrative, the lengths Briar will go to save her man, is so well done. We don't get any YA-like pining, but a few perfectly crafted lines of dialogue that show how these two have sacrificed and how they are just waiting for the responsibilities to be over so they can finally be together. It's never even explicitly said, but all this is apparent in their first scene together and carries forth throughout the entire novel. That was masterfully done. Literally, they have one scene together and their deal entirely. It's so excellent. We also have a small coming of age with a very unlikable character, which was a great arc, and the other side characters were very fun as well. Because you like the characters, the good characters, not the villains, the tension in the book is excellent. The death count in the book is quite high. The book is relatively gory, so you never know who's going to survive. I honestly was on the edge of my seat the entire time because though Die Hard has a happy ending, spoiler alert, this book is different enough from the source material that it could go either way. I will not tell you how the book ends, of course. The book isn't as funny as The Maleficent Seven, which is another book of Cameron's that I have read, and I loved that when it came out a couple years ago. It was one of my like first reviews on here, I think. But it has moments of comedy here and there. I will say the shit slide couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. The fantasy world building is enough. It's not extensive, as this is a standalone novel, but there's enough of it for you to get the gist of how the world functions and what the stakes are. It's definitely not a political fantasy. It's definitely not a court intrigue novel. But, you know, I could have used a little bit more on how the magic system worked. But in all honesty, I didn't really care too much about the setting as I was having way too much fun with the action. Thank you so much to Angry Robot for the ARC copy. I absolutely love it. I will say though, you guys had a missed opportunity because you could have taken like the cover of Die Hard and done like a play on that on the book instead. But that's okay. That's okay. You can take that idea if you want. Anyway, thank you again for the ARC, and thank you everyone else for checking out my review. So thank you.